Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A very warm welcome to all of you in your English class. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to have a review of the poem Casabianca. Furthermore, you all are going to attempt a test of the same topic which is scheduled for today. So let's start.
Let us read each stanza of this poem one by one. We are going to start the first one. The boy stood on the burning deck, whence all but he had fled. The flame that lit the battle's wreck shone round him over the dead. In these lines, the poetess tells that Casabianca was standing on the board of the ship which was on fire. He was standing alone while all others had left the ship. The flames of fire were rising from all sides. These flames were shining over dead bodies of the soldiers killed in the battle. Stanza 2. Yet beautiful and bright he stood, as born to rule the storm, a creature of heroic blood, a proud, though child-like form. In these lines, the poetess tells that the boy stood on the board of the ship in spite of burning flames. He looked very handsome in the light of these flames. It seemed that he was born to govern over storms. He had inherited nobility from his forefathers. Though he was of tender age, he looked brave and proud to carry out the commands of his father. Stanza 3. The flames rolled on, he would not go without his father's word. That father, faint in death below, his voice no longer heard. In these lines, the poetess says that flames rushed at Casabianca, but he had resolved not to leave the place unless his father permitted him. His father was lying dead in the lower part of the ship, so his voice could be heard no more. Stanza 4. He called aloud, say, father, say, if yet my task is done. He knew no that the chieftain lay unconscious of his son. In these lines, the poetess tells that the boy called his father in a loud voice. He asked whether the duty assigned to him had completed or not. He did not know that the commander of the ship was unaware about the condition of his son. Stanza number 5. Speak, father, once again he cried, if I may yet be gone. And but the booming shots replied, and fast the flames rolled on. In these lines, the poetess tells that the boy again cried and asked his father if he could go. He wanted to say more, but his voice was drowned in the midst of heavy noise of guns, and the flames rushed on very fast. Stanza number 6. Upon his brow he felt their breath, and his waving hair, and looked from that lone post of death in still yet brave despair. In these lines, the poetess says that the flames rushed at the boy. He felt their heat on his forehead and in waving hair. Though he knew that his death was near, but he stood quiet and calm. He looked around him from place of death with bold heart, though he was disappointed. Stanza number 7. And shouted, but once more aloud, my father, must I stay, while o'er him fast, through sail and shroud, the wreathing fires made way. In these lines, the poetess says that the boy once again cried out in a loud voice. He wanted to know if it was necessary for him to stay there. Just then, the flames rushed through sails and ropes. Stanza number 8. They wrapped the ship in splendor wild. They caught the flag high and streamed above the gallant child like banners in the sky. In these lines, the poetess tells that the flames surrounded the ship and covered it from all sides. They even reached the flag, which was flying very high. They also surrounded the brave boy like the flag's shadow in the sky. Stanza number 9. There came a burst of thunder sound. The boy, oh, where was he? Asked of the winds that far around, with fragments strewed the sea. In these lines, the poetess tells that suddenly a loud noise was heard there, and no one can imagine that where the body of the brave boy was. Only the winds could say, which were blowing around the boy, that where was he? Stanza number 10. With mast and helm and pennon fair, that well had borne their part. But the noblest thing which perished there was the young faithful heart. In these lines, the poetess tells that part played by mast, rudder, and the flag flying on the mast is praiseworthy. But the noblest thing which died there was the young, obedient, and disciplined heart that was Casabianca. Now it is time for your class test. Please proceed with your test by clicking the link provided in the description column of the portal.